Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about a very important historical intellectual movement called Enlightenment. What is it? How it spread? How it inspired generations of people in Europe and across the world to rediscover the world in a very different way. Let's have a look at this because it's very important for all of us you were studying political science, history, sociology, or any other discipline belonging to science, commerce, arts, anywhere. What is it exactly? It's definitely a new movement. It's an intellectual and philosophical movement in Europe. It took place around late 17th and 18th centuries in Europe. It emphasized on reason and individualism. It protested against existing traditions of that era. These are some of the highlights. Now I'll be going into details of the movement and looking at some of the spectacular discoveries, ideas that was brought by various thinkers and scientists to all of us. The Enlightenment was the name given to a time of new ideas beginning in the 1600s and lasting until the end of the 1700s. Keep in mind, it was also called the Age of Reason because people began to look for reasons why things happen as they did. People started rediscovering things in a very new way by putting in front the very idea of reason. Modern science grew out of this questioning. New ideas about government and how people should live were also central to the very movement and the core of enlightenment. Some European thinkers and even rulers took up enlightenment ideas with enthusiasm. So did ordinary people of that era. Others feared that the new thinking would overturn the old world forever. There was a kind of a threat. The French philosopher René Descartes, who lived from 1596 to 1650, advocated that only an idea that could be shown to be true by evidence or by reasoning was true. Such arguments troubled the Christian church and also kings and queens who believed that they had a divine right to rule. All those days, there was a divine theory of, political freedom rights was very much existing. Divine right. King thought he was sent by the God to rule over people. So people had no right to question. And these kind of traditional thinking was challenged outrightly by Enlightenment thinkers. Another French thinker, Voltaire, from 1694 to 1778, that was his lifespan, criticized both the church and the government of his time. So did Rousseau, who lived from 1712 to 1778, whose ideas helped shape the events leading to the historic American and French revolutions. Other leading lights of the Enlightenment were Benjamin Franklin, a scientist, inventor, and statesman, Adam Smith, the economist, David Hume, the historian, the philosopher Immanuel Kant, and writer Mary Wollstonecraft. The belief that every person had the right to knowledge, freedom, and happiness inspired a new revolutionary and democratic fervor which was to shape the world of the 19th century. See how things have happened. Now, I'll be going into the details of some of the spectacular things that we all had witnessed from that age. Number one, the encyclopedia compiled by the French writer and critic Denis Diderot was written by experts in many subjects and aimed to cover all branches of knowledge. First published between 1751 and 1772, the work comprised 17 volumes of text and 11 volumes of pictures. Next, the telescope opened new worlds of discovery. Improved telescope made by Newton in 1668 and Cassegrain in 1672 used mirrors to reflect light and gave astronomers clearer images of the universe. Number 3, a botanical drawing of sunflowers from Philosophia Botanica by Carl von Linné, published in 1751. Linnaeus was the first person to classify the plant and animal kingdoms, defining and grouping living things into species. Number 4, Francois Marie Arouet used the pat name or pen name Voltaire. As I referred to him just here, he was a scientist, thinker, and writer, noted for his wit. He declared, "I may disagree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it." Look at this. It is so meaningful and inspiring. Number 5. Those days there were a lot of influential women. They also came up with new ideas. New ideas were exchanged at the meetings of artistic and educated people. They gathered often in the homes of wealthy women to discuss the latest scientific discoveries, plays, books, and issues of the day. Two such women were Madame Geoffrin in 1725 and Marianne Lavoisier, wife of the chemist Antonio Lavoisier, whom we were all famous, all familiar with. Now, I'll be, telling you about the time span wherein some of the very new things have come up. First, 1632 to 1704, what happened? Have a look. Life of English philosopher John Locke. He believed that all men were equal and free, and that the authority of government comes only from the consent of the governed, I mean from the people. Next, 1687, Sir Isaac Newton sets out his theories about light and the visible spectrum, the three laws of motion, and the existence of gravity. Next, 1743, Benjamin Franklin sets up the American Philosophical Society in Philadelphia. Its members are interested in science as well as philosophy. Next, 1743 to 1794, life of the French chemist Antonio Lavoisier, who was first to establish that combustion, burning, is a form of chemical action. Next, 1751, the first volume of the encyclopedia was published. 1751, Linnaeus publishes his Philosophia Botanica. 1755, Samuel Johnson's complete dictionary of the English language is published. It contains over 43,000 words. Next, 1768, the Encyclopedia Britannica is first published, the historic book that had given all of us a huge mass of knowledge. 1788, the Times newspaper was first published in London. 1791, Thomas Paine's The Rights of Man influences Americans in their fight for independence from Britain. 1792, Mary Wollstonecraft's A vindication of the rights of women argues for equal opportunities in education. So, when you look and go through all these ideas, inventions, discoveries, and rediscoveries, what we see is that it has brought the beginning of a new world. It was just a starting point from where we had witnessed a new world, and our journey to the modern age had started. So friends, I'll be bringing this kind of historic events to you in my next videos. Keep watching. Bye bye.